What up, guys? My name is JoJo. Follow me and live, love, and laugh and wisdom. I'm over here on watching this videos from perspective of what is going on right now in our country, and it's really insane how all this is happening now, and it's just not getting better. I watch news every morning. It's always something new. There's always this. And it's all pretty much, and so much politics go on in there, and they politics, people die for all this politics, and it's a shame that we'll sit here and watching all this happening, and I'm honest with you, like this is different. I never felt like this before since, since Trump came in the office. It's pretty much like you really see the change. And I'm not in the right wing, left wing. I'm not one of them. You know what I mean? I go by what I know was right, which is the wisdom. You know what I mean? And you know you have to be able to just not like, okay, he sounds good, this and that, and then turn around and did exactly opposite of why people voted for him. And to me, it's like that's crazy. Like like you play mind games to people that people actually believe in you, and then turn around and just do exactly what you want to do. Like I don't even like you know. It's just that everything just went crazy, and then now there's a man named Kirk, Mr. Kirk, Charlie Kirk. Now may he rest in peace, and God bless the families, the loved ones, friends that care for him, that understand his method, his politic methods. Those who follow him, you know, those who did not follow him, you still have to show respect to the dead. You know what I'm saying? You still have to respect those who died for his cause. Either right or wrong. You have to understand that's what freedom of speech is. But you don't use the politics as your um, as your what do you call that? What we call as your tablet. You know what I mean? As your pills to trying to give the people all the wrong messages, and you thinking that you do giving the messages, and then really not, and then people dying in your circle, and then turn around and try to blame, and then go straight up to blaming people, blaming that side of wing. No, no, that's why you got to be careful things you say. You have actually people that actually believe and listen and believe and will follow no matter what it costs. There is a few videos that I'm gonna put that out too. That the people after the happened of Mr. Kirk's death, people went on live and went crazy and calling for war, calling and blaming one side, and then one guy talking about like asking Trump to give them a green light to create a violence. And then you got one man in, I believe somebody in Utah, one of the powerful people, Congress, or he said that words does not create violence. Violence create violence. No, words does create violence. So be careful what you say, because people actually listen and follow what you say, and then you create that violence. You have to like the people in the Congress, people on the right and left, you guys holding the most high standard. Okay, you represent for us. I understand this politics thing. There's this right and wrong. Y'all don't agree a lot of things, but you have to agree one thing: stop blaming and using the politics. Okay, and then people die because of your politicking. And now we sit here and grieving about the man and his family that all he was doing was his job, was his method, was giving a message to even his generation, his young ones. I don't know a lot of things about Mr. Kirk, okay, but it's not for me to really know about understanding who is Mr. Kirk is. For me, it's understanding to let you guys know that the politicians, you need to stop blaming games and let the law figure this out. If you don't let the law do their job, instead of let them do their job and figure out what had happened, why it happened, let's go find this man and let's do all this, with the law, your job, the FBI, the CI, or whatever it is, that's their job. When you putting politics on that mix, it turned to a whole different ways. It turned to a whole different 360 degrees into something that it shouldn't be that big. Let's figure out this person, why he did it, and this and that. I understand we all human, we emotional, get emotional, and this and the third. But just also understand, give the family, give Mr. Kirk's family respect. Don't use this as a politics. This is the time that left and right wing should be together in one and figure out what had happened. Not, oh, this side is to be blamed, that side to be blamed. And once again, we're back in politics. What? Are you kidding me? Man, 45 years of my life, I've never been, I've never seen like this before. So let's get it together. We all have wisdom. Let's figure this out. It's not about right or left, okay? But they turn it into right to left. Not us. We're just going by what you guys, we social media is really is out here. And wherever you go, there's always someone or somebody is watching or listening. And now you're gonna, you know, politicizing the freedom of speech and all that, but yet you still got people saying some things that freedom of speech is not allowed. But yet some people are still talking, blaming game. Stop. We need to put a stop to that because people dying, innocent people dying. Let's get together. Let's go. So I'm listening to this video right here, and I love watching them because like they really keep it real, and say what it is, and say this, like they needs to be heard. You know what I mean? So let's get it together, people. All right, man. All right, let's go play this game.
Do not think these are legit, and I'm not alone. There are bipartisan calls right now that what the prosecutors receive from the FBI is total bullshit. It's not making sense. Put this up, Kylie. I am still okay, my love. Now, I have a 22-year-old son. He doesn't speak this way. A little while longer yet is another quote from the letter. Till we died of old age. Grab my unseen, a bit over a week. And then he refers to a squad car. He uses the phrase circle back. He refers to his car as a vehicle. This is just, there's something incredibly fishy about this. I do not trust Kash Patel's FBI. He's a conspiracy theorist. Dan Bongino is a conspiracy theorist. They had podcasts where they trash talked the FBI for 4 years, which was their audition to get this job. Their number one thing is that they are Trump loyalists. I'm just not buying that this kid texted, ever since the election, my dad's been hardcore MAGA. If he and this roommate were in a romantic relationship, Why do you have to say that? That would be assumed. Why are you giving all these details about changing clothes? I'm just telling you guys, it stinks to high heaven. I'm not buying it. I don't trust anything that this administration puts out. They immediately, here's one of the main reasons as well, aside from knowing that 22-year-olds don't text like this. One of the main reasons is immediately after Charlie Kirk's murder, there was a organized, coordinated messaging attack on the right, that this was left-wing ideology, that these were leftists that did this. And then within 12 hours, it had swollen into left-wing transgender terror cells. That's what, before they even had this guy. And here's another tell in this letter, in the text exchange. He says, the roommate allegedly says, I thought they caught the guy. And then Robinson responds, that was some old crazy dude. So let me get this straight. You're worried about the rifle that you reassembled while you're changing clothes and you're texting all these details to your roommate, but you're also logged into your phone analyzing, and you know that some guy was picked up and then released. I don't know that I even knew that at that time. And I'm not trying to allegedly stash
I already thought,
a murder weapon. I'm calling it bullshit. I don't believe this for a second.
I agree with you. It's too convenient, given what you said. The immediate narrative was it was a leftist trans person, but he didn't fit the narrative. White, Christian, MAGA, Mormon. It did not fit their narrative. And that's never stopped Donald Trump from lying or corruption before. So why should it now?
And moving along, I want to highlight this tweet from Hassan Piker. He says, half the right thinks the messages are fake because it doesn't implicate the trans person. So there's a bunch of people that believe that this is wrong because the messages provide cover for the alleged trans roommate. The other half think the shooter is a patsy because it was Israel that killed Charlie Kirk. Hassan, a leftist, says, I will say the text messages are too perfectly plugging holes for the investigators and unnatural. And what I'm seeing here in Hassan's tweet, you guys, is bizarre bipartisan support. And to fight this fascist regime, it's going to require this. It is going to require people on the far right that have these podcasts and people on the far left to save our Constitution and our First Amendment. And this is the exact same thing that all of these bots and the administration are trying to prevent us from doing. Let's hear from Matt Walsh what he says about this. This is a far right anti-trans nut job. I am leaning very strongly towards the theory that this text exchange was scripted as a way to absolve the boyfriend. So his big thing is he's anti-trans. It's almost exactly what Walter White did at the end of Breaking Bad. This feels like a strategy they cooked up from watching too much TV. So this is the far right anti-trans movement. He's calling bullshit on it. Hassan Piker's calling bullshit on it. Jennifer and Pumps are calling bullshit on it. I'm calling bullshit. Next up, we have Steve Bannon of the War Room. He's not buying it. Play the clip.
This is presented in Utah. I'm not buying all of it. I'm particularly not buying those text messages. It just seems too stilted, too much like a script, actually a bad script.
We've always said that this administration is incompetent. And this is the highlight of this incompetence. But what's so sad about this is incredibly dangerous. This is a wild time to live in the United States, and they have eroded the institutions so much that within 9 months, I don't believe an effing word coming out of the FBI. Not one word, because Cash Money Patel is blindly loyal to the cult leader. And then behind the cult leader, you've got the failed drag queen, smoky eye sociopath, Little Smokey. And then it gets even darker. You get to Palantir, you get Elon Musk, you get to these very dark forces. There are people on the far right that see this. They see that people that are more powerful, with more money, with more nefarious intents than Matt Walsh and Steve Bannon, they see that they are sucking up to Trump, and they have the bank account that Trump is impressed with. And so there is a very weird time right now where we all need to focus on, because I believe we're at a precipice. I believe it's going to take some level of bipartisan voices to save this democracy. And I'm starting to see that this could possibly happen, because if the right wing is calling bullshit on the FBI that they wanted to take over, this is a window that we cannot close the door on. Here's Candace Owens. She's from the Israel camp.
Messages are clearly doctored, is what I would say. They're doctored. Now, they could decide why they're doing that. Tyler's being forthcoming. We're protecting him in some capacity. I find that to be unacceptable. Okay? Unacceptable. I want every single text message. I want timestamps. It is conspicuous that you are not telling us when this was sent, because it sounds like it's when the campus is on lockdown and he's got to go back and he's got to clean up. And then all of a sudden we're in the next day when his dad is getting clued in after the picture's been released. They're not telling us that. Okay. And you have a right to be a little bit uncomfortable about that, because I'm a lot of bit uncomfortable about that. We need full answers.
Okay. So you have exactly what Hassan said. More of her clips, she goes into thinking that this is a false flag from Israel, that the Israelis are all over it. You have the anti-trans people, the Matt Walsh, that think that it was that their whole narrative the last few days have been that it is a trans terror cell that was activated, these sleeper cells of trans people, which if you know.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of that. Well, we're going to continue this more about this whole conspiracy, whatever is going on in this country. If you like this video, just follow and press like the button. My name is JoJo, and follow me and live, love, and laugh and respect. And I have more videos. I'm trying to combine everything into one video. Cash Patel's, all that happening in the court right now. So if you like this video and you want to see more, press like and watch what's going to happen next.